Most people think fat loss is just calories, and technically they're right, but here's a problem. Some foods make fat loss easy and some make fat loss very hard. So today I'm going to show you the best foods versus the worst foods so you know exactly what to stay clear of. A lot of people fall in the trap of eating healthy and then they're scratching their heads wondering why they're not losing fat. So let's get into the best versus worst foods for fat loss. So we're going to start with the worst foods for fat loss first, kicking it off with nuts. Nuts are a super nutrient dense food, amazing for your health, but they're also calorie dense, all right? Meaning it's very easy to overconsume these and slam hundreds and hundreds of calories mindlessly, just snacking. Like I say, it's a health food, contains selenium, omega-3s, vitamin E, but when you are in a fat loss phase, this might not want to be in your trolley. Extremely calorie dense food for the volume that you're getting, trying to stay full, aren't you? So I'm going to show you an example now. Time for a little bit of education. So here's 40 grams of almonds, and this is 254 calories. And I could also eat 800 grams of watermelon for the exact same amount of calories as the almonds. Which one is going to keep me fuller? I hope you pick this because it's higher in volume, it's got a load of water content, it's going to make me feel full. Granted, this is a carb source and this is a fat source. It doesn't matter. You're going to get fat from other foods like your eggs, salmon, dark chocolate spread out across your other meals. This is a perfect example of why so many people struggle to lose fat, because they mindlessly snack on things like this. Or we all know that person who says, I can't lose weight, but I don't eat a lot. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You might not eat a lot of volume, but you certainly are eating a lot of calories, okay? You might be just grazing throughout the day, and then on night time you might just get a pizza or something like that. That's thousands of calories on top of all the grazing. That's just a small example, but it is things I see with clients and people who come to see me and want to lose weight, lose body fat and start getting into shape. It's these little habits that you're not being conscious of. On to the next food, dried fruit. This is like the carb version of nuts. Extremely calorie dense. They taste absolutely mega, but you can easily overconsume these and they're packed with calories, all right? Great in a bulking phase, but when you are in a fat loss phase, I would say this is a bad choice. So things like raisins, dates, dried apricots, dried bananas, stay away from. One medjool date, packed with potassium, packed with antioxidants, absolutely unreal. 66 calories for one medjool date. There's 4. For the same amount of calories as these medjool dates, I could have 400 grams of watermelon, 200 grams of Greek yogurt, 0% fat, and 4 Hartley's jelly pots. So look at the difference in volume, and I have weighed all this out. Could have them, or I could have that. What's going to keep me fuller? So I can eat more food, hit more protein, instead of eating the dried fruits. Protein bars, and I say this with quotation marks because the vast majority of these bars are just carb bars or fat bars dressed up in sexy packaging to manipulate you, okay? There's 7 grams of protein per Trek bar, all right? Just because it's got protein slapped on it doesn't mean it's a good option. Per one bar of this, just 40 grams, there's 187 calories. There's 8.4 grams of fat and 7.6 grams of protein and 20 grams of carbs. So it's predominantly carbs, therefore it's a carb bar, not a protein bar. If you're going to get a protein bar, get a bar that protein completely dominates the other macronutrients so that you're actually getting a larger serving of protein and less on the carbs and fats, all right? Not that them are bad things, it's just you're trying to hit your protein requirements when you're in a fat loss phase so that you can stay full. It's going to be hard to do that if you're just eating things like this, all right? These are just glorified candy bars, I would say. So don't even eat protein bars when you're in a fat loss phase because it's a low satiety food, probably going to make you feel more hungry. Next terrible food for fat loss is like protein drinks, all right? You want to be eating your food, not drinking your food. Unless it's a dash of milk for coffee, just don't drink your calories when you're in a fat loss phase. If you're stuck somewhere, all right, and the only option is getting like 30 grams of protein from one of these random protein drinks, fair enough, but you want to be eating solids so that you actually stay full and satiated when you are in a fat loss phase. So I don't have shakes when I am cutting, and there's a reason for that. It's because it works. You want to be just eating your food, not drinking it. And I know some people might be like, well, Yusuf, I haven't got time in the morning. Make overnight oats on a night time. Take a look at where you spend the most time. I guarantee you've got like 5 minutes to make overnight oats so that you can get up in the morning and get going. Don't make excuses, okay? Otherwise you're going to hold yourself back. Everyone's got time. You just need to be better at managing your time so that you can make shit happen. More terrible foods for when you're in a fat loss phase sauces, butters, oils. Stay away from them, okay? Easy way to just add hundreds of calories to your day just by mindlessly adding sauces and butters and stuff like that and oils. What I use is fry light spray for cooking. If that, I'm just cooking without it, but this is what I'm going for in terms of sauces. I use Sriracha by Thai Dragon because it's got a small nozzle on the end and it's super low calories. The small nozzle means that obviously it's not just going to come gushing out. Another great sauce would be Nando sauce. There's 12 calories per 20 gram. Not bad, all right? That's not bad. If you're doing that twice a day just to make your food taste good, I don't think that's a problem. Another great option, Cholula. This is literally 23 calories per 100 mil. There's 150 mil in a full bottle, okay? Next to nothing. Choose things like this. Guys, you got to play the game when you are in a fat loss phase, all right? You can have anything, but you can't have everything. That's a nice saying that I live by, and it just puts things into perspective, okay? When you are where you want to be in terms of body composition, lean, then you can kind of go into a maintenance phase and start eating more food and incorporating a little bit more flexibility. But when we've got a job to do, we'll stay on that job until it's done. So just to reel through a few more bad options for when you are in a fat loss phase would be like cereals, granolas, pastries and things like that. Very low satiety index, meaning they do not fill you, they make you want more. I cannot have cereal in the house. I can't have granola in the house. I will overeat it. I've done it before. I've put it on a Greek yogurt bowl, then I've went back and then put more granola on a Greek yogurt bowl. A great way to just accumulate a shit ton of calories. Awesome when you're in a bulking phase. I've got some of my clients on Cocoa Pops and granola on Greek yogurt bowls because you might reach a point where you need to actually be able to digest and get through easy to eat foods to accumulate more calories, especially around a well-balanced diet, okay? There's no problem in that, but strictly for fat loss, when you're trying to get lean, poor option. Okay, so now we're moving on to the best foods in terms of high satiety that are gonna make a fat loss phase easier, and we're gonna kick this off with potatoes. Potatoes are on the list of foods with the highest satiety index. Get them in here. Just avoid the ones that are covered in salt and fat from McDonald's. Another great option when you're in a cut, oats. You know I'm eating these every single morning on training days. So that's 5 days a week. Why? One, it's unreal. You know I make my oat bowl. If you haven't seen the way I do my oat bowls, check out my other videos where I pour the whey drip on and frozen blueberries and dark chocolate. Unbelievable. Keeps us full all morning and powers a really hard gym session. So obviously things like, you know, your chicken breast, turkey breast, things like that, your lean cuts of protein are going to be amazing additions to your fat loss diet. 0% fat Greek yogurt. Why do you think I have this every single night? It is delicious, but it's because it serves a purpose. I can have a large portion of it for little calories, which means it's absolutely perfect, all right? Perfect addition. High in protein, very satiating. Add berries to it, add some dark chocolate, drizzle of honey or a scoop of protein powder just to make it sweet, and you've got a banging ass snack meal. Eggs, high on the satiety index list. Why? The protein and fat combination. Great source of nutrition, seriously. Like, these are a great addition to anyone's diet, whether bulking, cutting, whatever. I absolutely love eggs. I eat them twice a week on rest days. Nothing magical about it. It's just I have higher fats on rest days, okay? Fats are very good for you, but I like to eat them like in the form of eggs, salmon and stuff like that so that I can get protein and fat combination whilst in a fat loss phase. I think it's a smart way to do it. The exception of liquid calories would be Diet Coke. 0 calories in them. If you're someone who's overweight and this is a helpful tool for you to satisfy that sweet tooth, get a carbonated drink in your belly so that it feels like you're more full because of the gas, then it's going to be a great tool of actually lowering your body fat percentages down and allowing you to get to a healthier body composition. So there's not enough aspartame in there to cause any damage. Like, look at the research, it's absolutely fine. The absolute daddy of fruits when you are on a cut, watermelon. High water content, super delicious. You can eat a large volume of this for low calories, which makes dieting easier. Strawberries and other berries, extremely good choice when you are in a fat loss phase. Again, you can put them on your Greek yogurt bowls, you can put them on your oats, and it's going to give you a load of vitamins and micronutrients that your body needs. Another staple in my diet for fat loss would be courgettes. One of these, around 200-300 grams of courgette, is around about 40-50 calories. So I can have a full courgette for minimal calories. That's large in volume and it's going to help me stay more full. This is why I find getting lean to be easier. So that's all I've got for today's video, guys. If you've enjoyed this, then you know what to do. Drop us a sub so that you can see more from me. And look, top tip for today's video would be to start looking at the back of packaging on the foods that you're going to buy and start getting a little bit more clued up on the nutrition that you're eating so that you can make educated decisions on what you're buying, smart decisions that are actually going to allow you to nail your goals and your nutritional requirements. Any questions, fire away in the comments, show some love and I'll show some love back. See you in the next one.